Hi, VAP-Scateers. How do you like the new room?
You'll notice she's still got the flag that keeps normies away.
My girlfriend Carmen Ryder and I are finally living together, and we've got a nice apartment. Well, really, we've been living together since February 20th, but I've been so busy doing stuff with her, and personal stuff as well, that I haven't had much time to work on my videos. But I'm going to remedy that by telling you all about all the fun stuff that's happened since Carmen and I finally met in real life.
And your old pal Nobuko will be here, because I'm who you're really watching these videos to see.
On the evening of February 19th, Carmen and I met face-to-face for the first time. We went on a date at the Cracker Barrel, which was a lot of fun. The next day, we moved into our apartment, and we went to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, the Wax Museum next door to Ripley's, and to the local comic shop. Carmen went to that comic shop a lot when she was a kid, so it's really important to her. On March 11th, Carmen and I went to the thrift store to get some dishes for our apartment. Later that same day, I watched Animal Crackers, the Marx Brothers movie with Groucho as Captain Spaulding, I mean.
Yeah, not that crappy CGI movie with Sylvester Stallone.
On March 15th, I watched The Gorilla starring the Ritz Brothers. It was pretty good, but I prefer the similar The Octopus. On March 16th, I started collecting stamps. I don't have a very big collection, but every time I buy some new stamps, I'll save one of them, and I save nice stamps off of, packages that I get. On March 17th, I watched The Diplomaniacs starring Wheeler and Woolsey. It's really funny, especially when they accidentally start World War II at the end.
Spoiler alert!
March 18th was pretty uneventful, but it was the 42nd anniversary of the first episode of Minky Momo, which isn't the same thing as Minky Momo's birthday, by the way. On March 21st, Carmen got a job working at a pizza place. That same day, we went to the thrift shop where I found this puppet of Alf. On March 22nd, I watched Hook, Line, and Sinker, starring Wheeler and Woolsey. I friggin' love those guys. Carmen worked that day and brought home a pizza with keto crust, which we both really enjoyed. On March 25th, I watched Elmer the Great, starring Joe E. Brown. The guy with the giant mouth you see in old cartoons all the time. He played a baseball player, and Sterling Holloway, the real voice of Winnie the Pooh, played his brother. On March 28th, I watched Bluey for the first time. It's really good, especially for a modern cartoon aimed at 5-year-olds. On March 31st, which was Easter, I watched Horse Feathers, starring the Marx Brothers. That's the one where Groucho's a college professor.
Vappy loves that movie. Enough that she's got the Danish poster for it hanging up next to her desk.
Yeah, it's like the Marxes are always watching me. Well, except for Zeppo. Oh, and after Easter dinner, Carmen and I watched The Phantom Menace together. I don't know why everybody hates Jar Jar so much. I think he's pretty funny. We also got a nice plant for our window. Although I can't show it to you, as taking a photo of our window would kinda dox us. Nothing really eventful happened again until April 4th, when I rewatched Bart Gets an F from The Simpsons. In spite of some things I've said in the past, I really don't hate The Simpsons. I just wish it had ended after, season 7 before it got normified. On March 7th, Carmen and I went to the comic shop again. I got some Star Wars figures and that cool Mighty Mouse poster. And later that evening, Carmen and I watched Attack of the Clones together. On April 8th, we got to see the solar eclipse. Don't worry, we both wore those special glasses. On April 10th, I finally found the movie Coconut Grove online. Why is this important, you ask? Because it features the Yacht Club boys singing,
We're Paul of the Three Musketeers. Yeah! We pull the public for years.
a song originally written for, but cut from, Animal Crackers. I don't know how it got reused for Coconut Grove, but I'm glad it did. On April 11th, I accidentally drank normal soda for the first time in months, and amazingly, I didn't keel over and die.
I guess God was really looking out for you there.
He sure was, Nobuko. He sure was. I also watched The Coconuts, starring the Marx Brothers.
Not to be confused with Coconut Grove, starring the Yacht Club boys.
Everyone always says that's one of their lesser movies. I thought it was really funny. On April 14th, I played board games with Carmen, Uncle Wiggily, The Great Pumpkin board game, and Dungeon Dice. On April 17th, I watched the first 2 episodes of The Mysterious Planet from Doctor Who.
That's the one where Doctor Who and Perry are on this planet that turns out to be Earth in the future, and it's run by this evil robot, and Perry gets kidnapped by these medieval peasant-looking people.
Yes, thank you, Nobuko. On April 18th, I got a Muppet in the mail. Well, he's not really a Muppet, but he's Muppet-like, and I named him Waldo. That same day, I also got 2 French Minky Momo comics in the mail, and I know what you're thinking. Do they have Cunny? Oh, you bet they've got Cunny. On April 21st, Carmen and I went to a barcade. Even though I shouldn't have, I got very, very drunk. I didn't do anything bad while drunk, though, unless you count telling some random guy that he looks like the guy from Monty Python as bad.
To be fair, he did look like a young John Cleese.
We also went to the comic shop that was right next to the barcade. I bought Carmen a Boba Fett action figure. On April 22nd, I watched the first episode of The Celestial Toymaker from Doctor Who. I'm kind of watching these out of order.
That's the one where this evil Chinese-looking guy kidnaps Doctor Who, Steven, and Dodo and forces them to play games where they'll die if they lose.
I don't think he was actually supposed to be Chinese, but anyway. On April 23rd, I watched the third episode of The Mysterious Planet. On April 24th, I watched episodes 2, 3, and 4 of Celestial Toymaker. On April 25th, I watched episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Carnival of Monsters.
That's the one where Doctor Who and Joe get shrunk down and put in this weird computerized zoo thing by these two carnies, and then these lizard-looking things escape their habitat and start trying to eat everyone else in the zoo.
Yes, thank you. That same day, I got a Fozzie Bear puppet.
I love how gormless he looks.
On April 26th, I watched Carnival of Monsters Episode 4, as well as Revelation of the Daleks Episode 1.
Wow, that's the one where Davros makes people eat their own dead relatives.
Thank you, Nobuko. On April 27th, Carmen got me this cool Robotech cup.
You can see Lisa's boobies on it.
That same day, I also watched an episode of Billy Bunter.
That's this old British show about a fat-ass schoolboy played by a 30-year-old.
Yeah, they even used that same term to describe him in the episode. Fat ass, I mean. Kinda weird hearing that in a kid's show from the 50s. On April 28th, I watched part 2 of Revelation of the Daleks, and later that evening, Carmen and I watched the Clone Wars cartoon together. On April 29th, I got some more puppets. Ed the Duck, Olive Oil, and a generic bunny rabbit.
The bunny's cute. Let's call him Flopsy.
Okay. I also watched episode 1 of Kinda.
That's the one where Doctor Who, Adric, and Tegan are on this weird jungle planet with these British soldiers and these cavemen, and Tegan starts hallucinating, and this creepy-looking guy with a snake tattoo possesses her, and there are these cool robot suits, and
yes, thank you, Nobuko. I also rewatched Celestial Toymaker Part 4 because I really like the part with Steven, Dodo, and Cyril playing a giant board game. Now, unfortunately, April 30th was kind of uneventful, but I'm sure we'll all have lots of fun throughout May. If you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about all the fun stuff that's happened since I've moved in with Carmen, then let me know in the comments and I'll make more videos like this.
And if you'd like Carmen to start appearing in Vappy's videos, tell Carmen. We're sure she'll do it.
I've got a lot of great videos planned for the future, so look forward to them. And don't forget, God loves you even if you're a bisexual, trans, schizophrenic lolicon like me. If he didn't, I wouldn't be here right now.